hello, and welcome back to Good Knit Kisses. I'm your host, Kristen, and today we are live on Good Knit Kisses. I hope you are doing well, and we're going to be talking about dryer balls, step by step, how to make them, answer your questions, and we're going to talk with Carol when she hops on here. We're about to have her, let's see. Ooh, Carol can't join the video. Oh no, I've been having some difficulty this morning. Oh my goodness, why can't I invite this guest? That's not good. Okay, so I may have to see if Carol can jump on her other device. We have so many people joining us really quickly. This is wonderful. Okay, so I've got some of my samples ready, and I'll just continue to try and jump on. I've got all of her notes. We had a Q&A a couple weeks ago and had some people on, and Carol was on talking about her dryer balls and how she uses them. She does this all the time, and they last for about 6 months or so, and we're going to kind of show you how to do that. I've got all my supplies ready and all of her notes if I have this difficulty continue, so I don't want you guys to have to sit and wait around all day for this, but we do have all of her archive notes from our original broadcast, and we're going to put this up on YouTube later, so have no fear. And let's see if you can, Carol, if you can help me out here and jump onto another device, log off and log back on, and hopefully we'll be able to get you up and ready. Thank you so much. Hey, it looks like Chris is joining us, and let's see, there we go. My notes are all over the place. Hey, Joanne. Hey, everyone. Thanks for sharing the video, Chris. Good morning. Good morning. It has been so weird. We have this really cool talk show format where I can bring people in, and today it was not so cool. It's on my computer over there saying it'll be ready in a moment, and it's still not ready. It's supposed to be showing, I couldn't even get the camera going, so we're just gonna roll with it. Anyway, good morning, everyone. I'm gonna say hello to everybody. Hey, Heather, your dryer balls came out. Yes, I saw that you took that advice and started making them, so I'm so glad that that worked out for you. Gracie, good morning. Hi, Chris again. Carol, okay, you're on both iPad and laptop. It will only work on your iPhone, I believe. I'm thinking it's maybe not working on an iPad. So I think it only works on the iPhone. If it's not picking you up. Let me see if I can hit it one more time. Let's see. And nope, can't invite this guest. So unless she's on an iPhone, unfortunately, Facebook is giving us fits this morning. All right. Lori, good morning in Wisconsin. And hey, everyone. I'm so glad you're joining me. Hey, Holly, good morning. Okay, well, I'm going to get started and talk to you about the dryer balls and what they are. They're handmade, and they're made with 100% wool, and you can also do them in cotton. We did an experiment. We had Carol on a couple weeks ago, and really we're talking about that. And so I decided to go through and make my own, and I was going to share my results with you today. So I think that cotton is really good news for people because there's a lot of people who have cotton. You might have once thought, I'm going to make a bunch of dishcloths. Maybe you do make them all the time, but maybe you're not using the cotton that was given to you, or maybe you have a massive cone and you have a lot left. For whatever reason, you've got a lot of cotton laying around, and you may not necessarily have 100% wool laying around. I will show you the different materials that I got, so kind of step by step. So I used an entire skein of this right here. This is Lion Brand fisherman's wool. Carol has used, let's see if she's written that down. Carol had used Peyton's Classic wool. 209 yards is how big that ball is, and she got about three balls from that one skein. And I had gotten, let's see, from this fisherman's wool, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 balls. So this is what it looks like. And then what I did is I decorated the outside with this, and look at that. So this is what it looks like before you wash it. Okay, And this is what it looks like after washing and after felting, and it goes in the dryer and all that stuff. And so I'll go through all the step-by-step on that. And let me see if she is back on the phone yet. Nope, can't invite. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna keep going. So what I used is, let me see if I can get all my stuff. I thought I had an extra piece. Okay, so I have, the other one is Fisherman's Wool, is this one. So the first one that I used, if you want to know, it's Nature's Brown. Okay, so Fisherman's Wool, Nature's Brown. And then I wrapped on the outside, kind of decorative, this other Fisherman's Wool. And it is, I'll tell you the color, tweed, oak tweed. Okay, so it was really, really nice. So what happens is you take your, you have your wool, your handy scissors, and your pantyhose. And I'm going to flip the camera and I can kind of show you how the process is. But let's talk about the process and why you want to make the dryer balls. Okay, so why would I want to make a dryer ball? Well, you make a dryer ball to go into, you make it so that when you dry your clothes, you have like 3 or 4 of these. You could even put up to 6 in there, and it cuts your dryer time in half. So you will use 100% wool, or let's get the cotton one out. This is the final cotton one. Look, and it worked. And it's not felted as much as the wool is, but it's still like it did its own kind of version of felting. So let's see. Chris says, I'm not being a smarty pants, but what exactly are these so popular? Why exactly are these so popular? I've heard of rubber dryer balls with nubbins used in place of dryer sheets. Yes, these are in place of dryer sheets. And they also, when you throw them in your dryer, say you have a front-loading washer and dryer, your sheets get all like out of sorts and twisted. If you'll throw these in the dryer, it'll cut your dry time down in half, but also it helps your clothes not get twisted. It also cuts down, the wool cuts down on static, so it's not going to have all that static in there. The cotton ones are going to be good with, like, say, athletic wear, that maybe the cotton, the wool kind of may actually cause, I know that Carol was talking about how on her husband's athletic wear, the wool actually didn't take away the static, it created it. So on the athletic wear, now you could use the cotton. And I know that this weekend it did cut my drying time down very much so. So anyway, we are going to show you how to do this, the process of how to do it. You can also add in essential oils. But I want to tell you, if you are a parent of children, there's one thing about dryer sheets that you may not know. Dryer sheets actually have a chemical in them that can void the fire retardancy of your clothes. Why is this important? Well, it's especially important for the pajamas and PJs, things like that they're wearing at night, the sleepwear, because if you put dryer sheets in your wash and you have a fire in the house, you've lost that retardancy. What happens if the fire creeps up and the kids can't, they don't know about it? So they could get burned. Even like if you're learning to cook and then they get caught, with that. It hasn't happened in our house, thank goodness, but I wouldn't want to wreck that. I remember going to the hospital before we had our first kid, and we went through all those big classes, and that was one of the things that the hospital had let us know. They were like, you need, for your baby clothes, please don't use a dryer sheet in them, and they told us why. And so anyway, ever since then I haven't used any dryer sheets with those type of items. So anyway, I'm looking forward to these and cutting down on my energy savings. I live in Texas. It gets very hot. It gets over 100 degrees in the summer. Not cool at all. So I'm looking forward to using these this summer. Let's see. I think Carol is now on her phone, and we're going to have, I am not leaving anything out. Let's see. Hopefully she can come on in. I've just invited her. I'm so glad to welcome Carol. And let's see if she's able to come on. Thank you guys for coming in. Chris says, that's so scary about dryer sheets. I use them all the time. When my daughter was little, I had hospital classes and that never came up. Yeah, the lady that we had was just really thorough. Of course, I ask a lot of questions. So the other thing is you can do is you can add essential oils in, and then you get that extra little nice scent in there. You could put in your own lavender and all that, and that is that'll be really great. So yeah, reducing static cling, reducing the time in the dryer. Yeah, those are all really good things. Have you ever been told, hey, put a towel in with your clothes and it'll cut down on the dry time? That's essentially what this does. Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can invite her one more time. For some reason, we're having a difficulty. Okay, so I'm going to go through my notes real quick and make sure that I don't have any other questions on that. Oh, and how long do they last has been a question. They last about 6 months. So you make one, you work it up, you do the little step by step, and then they last for about 6 months, and then you just make some more.
Hi.
So there she goes. And I need to unplug my mic on here so I can hear her. I had a special mic in. Hi, Carol. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Excellent. All right. I have this special mic with my iPhone and I have to plug it into the thing, and then I can't hear you if I have that in. So hopefully my voice quality is still good to go.
Well, I don't use my, the way I have my computer set up and my iPad set up, I don't need my password to get into Facebook.
Oh.
On my phone, I never use Facebook.
Oh.
So I was having some technical difficulties.
Oh. Well, thank you for your patience and thank you for hopping on. Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. And we'll have to keep Carol on here short because she's going to be like trying to hold her phone or something.
No, I have it now. If you can still see me.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That'll be good. Okay, super. I was like, no, she's going to have to be holding it the whole time.
No, I got it.
Hey, let's see, Carol. Oh, she's in Pennsylvania. Hey, Carol. Was it Pennsylvania? Yeah, that's a different Carol, but hey. I'm just.
Hey, Mikhail.
I'm scrolling through. Let's see. Chris says our garage gets so hot in the summer and worse with the dryer. Oh, absolutely. So, Deborah says, what's bad about the dryer sheets? They cause you to lose the fire retardancy in your clothing. So it breaks that down. Plus, you're adding all those harsh chemicals and everything into your clothes that you're wearing. You can, using wool and using cotton, those are pretty normal, natural things. And maybe sticking in an essential oil if you want that extra smell. Some people like the dryer sheets simply for the smell, but there are a lot of chemicals in them, and some people are allergic to that, and so this cuts down on all that stuff. So everybody's saying hello, Carol.
Hi, everybody.
Lots of Carols.
Hope everybody down in the States is having a good Memorial Day weekend.
Yes. We've got family coming over here in a little bit. We're going to have a brisket and whatever else.
Nice.
So hopefully it warms up. It's been kind of cloudy. So anyway, let's see. Chris says they also interfere with the absorbency of your towels. Oh, that's good to know. I didn't know that. The dryer sheets. Is that?
Yeah, for some reason the chemical that's in the dryer sheets they make your towels stiff, and the dryer balls don't. They all come out nice and soft.
Yeah. Well, I stopped using them. I only use them occasionally ever since then. So it's been 10 years since we stopped using dryer sheets. And I probably have the same box from 10 years ago, and I put it in very occasionally if I have a whole bunch of, if I have something that needs it for static. So I'm going to hold up some things. If you want to kind of take the wheel here and I can hold up what you're talking about, do you want to go through anything that I left off and maybe kind of the one-by-one step-by-step instructions?
Sure, we can do that.
Okay.
I don't know if, Kristen, if you have started just a ball the way you were doing them before, because your way was a little bit different than the way I do it.
Okay, let me get this out, and I'm going to flip the camera. I should be able to flip the camera while you remain how you are.
Okay.
And I will show them how I started it.
And hopefully While we're going through this tutorial, Kristen doesn't keep dropping her balls.
Oh, I was doing that.
And that is a little bit of a problem. The balls do drop out of your hand every once in a while.
Okay, so I have my wool here.
Yeah, so
and
Kristen
this is my cotton.
Kristen went through everything with you on what type of yarn to use or what type of wool to use. So the first step you're going to do is you're going to make an actual ball with your yarn. Kristen starts off a little bit differently than what I do. I thought it was kind of a neat idea.
So I just start this way. I start making this little bobbin, and I hold my yarn around my thumb like this. And then I go around the thumb and around my pinky, and I kind of do it back and forth until it sort of stacks up a lot. Right. And then I'll make a ball. So I'll just do this in the background while you chat.
Yeah. So as Kristen is doing that, what she's going to do next, she's going to take off the I would look at it and probably say, it looks almost like the start of that butterfly you did the other day.
Right.
And take that off her fingers, and then she's going to put it in half and start wrapping the yarn around that. And you just keep wrapping that yarn around until you have a ball the size that you want. I usually make them about the size of a tennis ball. Once you've got the ball all done, and you can see in the background, Kristen's got one that's already made. You're going to take that ball and you're going to put it into the knee-high, or some people use pantyhose. Once you've got the ball into the knee-high, one of the very important things is to tie a knot in the knee-high at the end of each ball. If you don't do that, you are going to have one big mess, because the balls are going to all felt together. So you're going to do that. You can usually get 2 or 3 knee highs, or 2 or 3 balls into one knee high.
So this one's already got 2 in it.
Yeah. So after you've got that all done, you're going to take that. Some people call them dryer ball caterpillars or dryer ball snakes. You're going to take those and you're going to put them in hot water laundry. And you're going to run those through a couple cycles on your washer. Kristen, how many cycles did you put yours through?
This one right here, these are the cotton ones that I did.
Right.
And this one came from this knee high. So I ran this through the wash, the hot water wash twice.
Okay.
And then, actually I say twice. No, I did this one 3 times.
Okay.
Because what I did is I washed these 2 sets together once. And then I threw in my wool one. And so then I let them go through one more cycle, because I wasn't done with my wool one. Sorry, they went through once, and then I washed them twice with the wool. So the wool, right, I washed twice. And so it was on the hottest setting that I could do.
Yeah, and that's what I would do, is you put your washer on the hottest setting. Some people do say that you can put it in with your other laundry. I would be really careful of doing that, because you don't know if the color is going to run in the first washings. So I don't wash them with any other laundry, but you will see, if you look on other ones, they say to put it in with jeans, because I guess that makes them tumble more. So once you wash them, and you just keep washing them until you have them felted to what you want. I usually do 2 or 3 times, depending on the wool that I use. After you've done that, you're going to, when you bring them out, you're going to see if you've got more than one knee high in there. Those knee highs are going to be tangled together. Don't worry about it, because
they were all jammed up like this,
mangled in together. Don't worry about it, because when you take the balls out, you're going to cut that knee high anyways, and then you just peel it off. So you remove, you take your balls out of the wash. They're all finished with their felting. Cut the knee high, and you start peeling that knee high away. With the cotton ones, is that a cotton one? Oh, you can see it does stick a little bit. You just pull on it.
And I was showing it kind of slow. So this is the cotton one. This cotton one had been through the 3 washes, and then it went through the dryer probably like 5 times like that, because I wanted to make sure it was really in there, because we weren't sure how it would stick. But it is really, it really did well. I can actually tell a difference in the one on the right and the one on the left, and they were the exact same size. And this one is a little bit smaller. And if I go to an original ball like this, so this one's not been done.
Right.
And so you can tell it actually is a little bit bigger. I can see it in my perspective from here.
I can see the difference between them, and not a lot when you do the cotton. When you do the wool, there is difference between the 2 balls. One that's been washed and one that's been felted and one that hasn't been.
So I'm going to peel apart the wool ones. These are the classic kind. So that one actually came out without any kind of stickiness. When I took this one out before, it was sticky. Let's see if it happens on this one. A little bit.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll stick a little, sometimes they stick quite a bit.
Yeah. So you can tell the difference in, let me cut this one off. Well, this is my other one that I wasn't really quite ready. I'm going to undo this because I don't want to cut that pantyhose yet. Pantyhose. Woo, that was funny. Let me get in here real quick.
I just noticed a comment from Joanne. She runs hers through her laundry, even with cold water, and she says that they'll still felt up a bit. And then when you can put them in the dryer, of course, and they're going to felt up more in the dryer. Now, what I do is I leave mine in the pantyhose and throw them in the dryer by themselves, and I usually throw a towel or 2 so they don't make so much noise. Because they do make an awful lot of noise when they're bouncing around in there.
They do. Yeah, I washed them twice, or dried them twice all by themselves, and then I dried them with all of our laundry. We have 6 people at our house, and so it went through several cycles with other laundry, and I noticed as they got drier, the dry time was cut down significantly. So, I mean, it's like, it was, I should have timed it to see what the difference was, but I could tell. It seemed like it was maybe even half.
Right.
Yeah, so it was a lot. And I took, go ahead.
Yeah, as Kristen said, once you're finished with the drying, if you want some nice scents in there, you can put some essential oils. I love the smell of lemon or lavender, so I usually add one or the other to my dryer balls. When I do my dryer balls, right now I counted them. I did a load of laundry last night and I counted up the dryer balls. I have 17 dryer balls in my dryer right now. The more you have, the more you have, the better they work.
Okay.
Because that will absorb, the more you have, the more of the wetness from the clothes will be absorbed.
Okay.
Now, I saw Heather had a question there about can you wrap them, can you have cotton as your core and wrap them with yarn or with wool? Of course you can.
Sounds,
actually. You can do that as well. I've seen a couple of other things I've seen is people have crocheted a ball, not closed it up, and stuffed it with cotton. And then close it up and then go through the process. So that's another way to do it, is just to crochet a ball and stuff it with cotton. I've seen people take recycled sweaters and cut those sweaters in pieces. Don't actually unravel the sweater. Just cut those in pieces about this big and make a ball out of it. And then kind of darn it together a little bit and throw it in the pantyhose and throw it in the hot wash, and that will felt up as well. They don't look as pretty, but they work just as well.
Yeah. Wow. Do we have any other questions? I've seen Joanne said had a thing about maybe how tight it is. I thought maybe that question flew by. Mine's pretty tight. I mean, I'm pulling on it. I mean, I'm not hurting myself, but I'm pulling on it tightly. So for those who are just joining us, thank you for joining us. We're talking about dryer balls. It is used to help reduce the time in your dryer, your clothes. It cuts down on your dry time, which cuts down on your energy bill. Or if you're working in a time laundromat, you've got extra time. The other thing that you can do with them is put in essential oils. It reduces the static cling, but also very importantly, especially for children's things and the elderly and really anyone, it limits dryer sheets can impede the fire retardancy of your clothes. And so if you stop using them, that's good, but any new clothes will not be affected. So their old clothing has already been affected by any dryer sheet use, but any new clothing is not going to lose that fire retardancy. So you're going to also help, you know, of course, environmentally, you're not using those sheets and all that extra chemical as well. But as far as static cling, use the wool, but static cling in athletic wear, Carol, you were saying that
it doesn't work.
The wool was okay. Yeah, go ahead and talk about that for me, please.
The static cling, when you're using the wool dryer balls with certain athletic wear, it does not help with the static cling. It probably actually makes it worse.
Okay.
The balls will stick to it, and of course, when you're drying anything like fitted sheets or shirts and that, you always have this find the ball game because they do get inside sleeves and but you just watch what you're doing. Just don't make your bed with dryer balls in the sheets. It might be a little uncomfortable.
So you've seen me wind it up. That's great, Carol. I'm really glad that you've been able to tell us about that, because I'm not sure everybody knows that. I'm gonna finish this ball up, and one of the things that Carol said was very important, and I'm glad that that I did it, because none of my balls have come apart, is once I'm ready, I'm going to get a nice little tail going here. I'm going to trim that off. I've just clipped it, and I'm going to work this tail in with a darning needle. I've got a very strong one, nice thick blunt tip. Put that in, and then I'm just going to go around and put my put it in any place. I mean, I can't go straight all the way through because it's not that long. So I just kind of go through the side here and then pull it real tight. Yeah. And then I went back over some of these because so like when I pull that tight, it pulls on that last part that I did.
Yes.
So I kind of go over it, over that area and sort of make a crisscross over it. And then I start kind of just going wherever I want. In any just kind of random fashion, wherever I can get it in. And anything that I think is loose, I kind of cinch it in. Like so this is sort of a little loose here. Well, I mean, it may be fine when I felt it, but I'm going to go through here and I can even like crisscross, go through where I just did. So there was this loop. I can even go through that.
Well, you're finishing up that, Kristen. Yeah. I'm going to answer a couple of the questions here.
Great, go for it.
To add the essential oils, as soon as they come out of the dryer, as soon as they're finished felting, I add 6-7 drops of oil in different spots. Let it dry. The oil doesn't come off onto your clothes.
Oh.
One of the other questions was if the dryer balls are absorbing wetness from your clothes, do they get full of mildew? I've never had that happen because by the time my clothes are dry, the dryer balls are dry as well. So they've never been wet. They've never caused any mildew. I don't add essential oils all the time, depending on what I'm washing. So you can because if they got mildew in them, you would be able to smell that if you don't have essential oils. And as I said, they are dry when they come out.
And Carol, if I can interject here, I'll say this. The thing about wool is it's wicking.
Yes.
The wool is going to, what it does is wool, a property of wool is it wicks water out. So what it's doing is it's drawing moisture. If you've got a cloth here, if I've got a cloth here, it's pulling that moisture out of the hat or out of my laundry, and then it's making the moisture either go to the ball or it pulls it with the wool, primarily because wool actually doesn't absorb that. I mean, you'd have to be soaking in it to really fully absorb now cotton's going to absorb. Okay.
Yes.
But the wool is going to wick it out of your clothing, and then it goes into the atmosphere of the dryer, and then it's exposed to the air, and so it dries it faster. That's more of the science behind that. So it's wicking it out. The cotton is more absorbing. So I'm actually thinking that a combination of cotton and wool in your dryer would probably do an even better job, Carol.
Right.
Yeah. And maybe you wouldn't need those 17 balls. Maybe, throw in I would think a good experiment for you would be to take those 17 balls and maybe half of them are cotton, and then time it and see if it actually improved your time. I'd actually love to be able to follow up and find out about that. Mm-hmm. That would be really cool. Let me show you while I'm here. Just let me 1 second, and then I'll give you back the floor. These balls here. What if this ball right here is made from an entire one skein, one ball of this Lily sugar and cream. So just to give you proportions, so I use the entire thing. This is colored jute, and so I used one entire one, and it was wound really, really tight. This is one full ball of this color, and then this is just a couple of yards around. In this jute color. So this one's the opposite. So I did an entire ball here, and then I just pulled a few yards to wrap around in the end. And so I put in the needle as you saw it, and then I put the accent color on the outside. And this is just to add it. It's just fun. And then you could have a basket next to your laundry that's filled with all these balls, which is really kind of cute. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's all I want to say about that.
I'm glad because we did have a question on how many skeins of cotton it took to make a ball. So I'm glad you answered that, because I haven't made them with cotton yet. I just noticed that Janet said that she makes her dryer balls on a small loom, and then she puts a tennis ball inside of it.
Oh,
so that's another idea to do too, because some people do use tennis balls in the dryer.
Mm-hmm. So that's those there. I hope that everybody liked that. So again, if you're just joining us, you're gonna get some knee-high pantyhose.
Yeah.
You know, some of these. Okay, knee-high pantyhose. Make 3 of your balls. So this is a ball that hasn't been done. You're gonna load up 3 in there. Okay, and then you tie a knot on each end so that you have you'll have a snake of 3 of them together in one knee high. You might even be able to get more, depends on your knee high, I guess. And then throw them in the wash hot 2 or 3 times, and then throw them in your dryer with a towel and dry them. I did them several times, but it may only need 2 or 3.
Yeah. I usually do it a couple of times in the dryer as well. I just do it. It's your choice. You do it until you see what the felting is like, and if you like how much it's felted or not.
Well, just to show you, these are fresh right here. So this right here is a comparison. This is a good comparison. So these 2 on the left were done drying just twice in the dryer.
Mm-hmm.
And this one was done 5 times in the dryer. And just to show you the difference.
Yeah.
So the longer it's in there, the more it's going to kind of, I feel like these threads here are a little more smushed, and it actually goes down deeper. So I'm going to show you here. Normally I wouldn't do this, but see, you can pull it apart and see the little divot.
You can see the dent in the ball. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then this one, let's see if you can see it or not. It's less of a dent.
Right.
I can tell there's something there. Yeah. So the longer it's in there. So I did that just because the cotton, I wasn't sure how it was going to felt. So maybe leave it in the pantyhose a little longer.
Diane, I never put any detergent in with the dryer balls when I'm washing them. Just wash them in plain old hot water.
Yeah. So Francie, this says, is the base made with cotton? I just joined. I usually use all wool. Francie, actually, I think that would be nice is if you did a cotton base and then put wool there, because the wool is going to wick it from your clothing, and then the cotton can absorb, so they can kind of work together. So you could either put a cotton ball and a wool ball in your dryer, one of each, or a bunch of each, or make a combination of them. But we just want to show you that you can use both. I just think that having cotton is a nice way to add to it. Plus, a lot of people have cotton laying around, and it can be a better, less expensive solution. If you are budget minded, if you're on a limited budget, the wool may be too expensive at that time, and so you might have to wait for a sale. But you don't need to wait on a sale just to do it. I would just start with, like, for your budget, because you can do one ball out of one of these. Just do them one at a time. Yeah. Just make them as you can. If all you can fit in your budget is one, then just get the one. And then the next paycheck, you can get another one. And then slowly you're going to work these up. And then they go away after about 6 months. So if you're slowly making them, then actually it'll be easier to keep up with your inventory of dryer balls.
The only reason why I said I had 17 in my dryer. The only reason why I have 17 in my dryer right now is because I was in that, let's say, project abyss where you don't know what you want to do next. So I just sit there and I wind wool and make dryer balls. And Deborah Hope mentioned that her kitties would love these. When my daughter's finished with hers, she actually gives them to her cat. And the cat plays with them all the time.
Oh, well, so there you go. So you've got a useful ball, and then it turns into a toy.
You're right.
That's
right.
Awesome.
It's reuse, recycle, reuse.
That's right. That's right. And I would encourage you to, if you want to go to, let's say you go to a thrift store, or go to one that's like a secondhand store, Salvation Army, Goodwill, and you find something, or even like in the donation, say, hey, did you get any donations that may have had holes in them? There were sweaters with holes that you can't use. Yeah. Maybe ask them, because it could be a wool sweater or even a cotton. There are people who, there's cotton tanks and stuff, like a camisole or something to go underneath, or a summer one that maybe have gotten a snag on it, a cotton sweater. Have gotten a snag, and then you could just pull it apart, and then reuse that too.
Oh, Joanne's making some already.
Joanne's making some.
Yeah, she's got some wound up. Well, she's been watching this, and 3 are ready to go.
And Heather, she's on here, and Heather made some over the weekend. She made a couple of live videos, and she was showing everybody that she was making them too. So that's pretty great.
Yeah, Deborah, craft sale item. Dryer balls, dishcloths, scrubbies. You can put a whole little set together. They make great Christmas gifts with some nice detergent, homemade soaps.
And we're going to have this, unless Joanne or Carol will tell me different. We're going to have this. I'm not sure if it's live yet, but we'll have instructions on handmade wool dryer balls.
Yeah,
on the website.
The website is ready. Just needs the pictures added.
Okay, so did I not? I haven't sent you that. Then did I? Okay.
No.
We'll get pictures added, and we'll get these instructions up. If you are selling them, this would be actually good. So take some kind of bullet points from this, some highlights that you heard here on the broadcast, and put a little sign up if you're going to sell them at a craft fair this summer, and put up a little, show like why. So why use dryer balls? Reduce drying time in half, help reduce static, saves you money on your energy bill, chemical free, good for the environment, and clothes last longer. And you can add your essential oils for smell. I also say it helps them from getting twisted up in the dryer too.
Yes.
So those are some of the extra things that aren't even on here. So
makes your towels nice and soft. You know, when you use fabric softener in your wash, and then you use the dryer sheets, for some reason, it just damages your towels. They're not nice and fluffy. These bring them back to being fluffy again.
Yeah. We have Alicia is asking about where to get the wool. There's now Peyton's classic wool. I've seen at Joann's.
I've got
you
mine
can buy
at
it
Michael's.
online. You get it at Michael's. Okay. Yeah. And then mine, where's I had a a thing. Okay, this fisherman's wool, this was like a dark, there's this brown color in this sleeve here. This one I got at Joann's. This one was right next to, it's also fisherman's wool, but it's like with a different kind of label. It was Lion Brands. And this was at Joann's as well. So this was at my Joann's.
Right.
Now, I got this a while back. I will say that. But you just have to look or ask, ask and see if they can look up in their stock, because maybe it's in a place that you can't see. Maybe it's like kind of off the beaten path, So, yeah.
Ada, you're asking if you could dry them in the microwave? I don't think I would try putting material in a microwave. I know you're wanting to make them. Yeah, I know you're wanting to make them, you say, for a cat toy, but I wouldn't try putting them in the microwave. One, it would be a big energy waster, and two, you never know, it might catch fire.
Yeah.
Oh, Crystal, yes, you can use 100% cotton. Kristen has samples there of 100% cotton and 100% wool.
Yes, this is the cotton here before, and this is the cotton after. Let's get a side by side of the same looking one. So this is cotton side by side, and it did felt to a certain extent. You can get actually cotton batting that's been felted. It just it has to go through it's just a harder process.
Yes.
It still works. So you can see all the different threads here, all the different you can see the yarn right through here, and here it's all smushed up. Do you see that? So.
Oh, Joanne, that's a good idea too. Ada can felt them in a pot of boiling water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Then you just have to dry on their own. But felting them you can do in a pot of boiling water.
Yeah, just pull them out with tongs.
Yeah.
Set them aside on some cotton cotton towel. I would. It also felts with friction.
Yes.
And so you might want to do is once they get cooler to the touch, you might, I don't know, maybe roll them in your hand or put some hot pad holders on, the pot holders, oven mitts.
Well, even if, if you felt them in the hot boiling water, and then you're going to see whether any dye comes out. If no dye comes out, then throw them in the washing machine with jeans.
That's true.
To let that friction happen.
Mm-hmm.
Donna, you just wrap them around as if you were making a ball. Just start wrapping some yarn around your fingers.
I'll do a little bit more.
Again. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is my wool here, and I showed it early in the broadcast, and we'll probably cut the broadcast out here in just a few minutes here. But this is me starting the very end. You can wrap around your fingers like this to start your ball. I do this thing where I make like a little butterfly bobbin, which I did a video on this on YouTube last week, and it's a great way to pull out your yarn. But you can have to look up for that video. But this is the way I got started. So it just gives me a good starting point, a base, and I could even like get my cotton in here and wind it together,
Yeah.
So if you, and Carol said, even if we had a mess like this, like say, I'm like, oh, I got the yarn barf stuff. Fine. Start it that way.
Yeah. Just, crunch it up and start.
Let's do it. I'm going to scrunch this up. Okay. I'm going to do one and have a combo ball here. Okay. So this is just a big mess. And then I'm just going to wrap these around and do it together. And I'll test this ball and let y'all know how it worked.
Somebody else said that they have made the dryer balls by needle felting them. And if you want to needle felt them, there are so many ways and so many different tutorials on how to make dryer balls. To me, I just found this was the fastest and easiest way to do it for me.
Yeah. I like fast and easy.
Yeah.
I like fast and easy as long as it works.
Yes. Oh, hi, Suzette. Boy, it's nice to see all these different people joining in today.
And my hands are not able to keep up with it, but because I'm the primary person, but because my screen is flipped, all of the comments don't fly through for me. I have to like manually move them, so I get stuck on 2 comments. So I'm really glad that you can read them.
Well, when you see me turning on my head, it's because I'm looking at my laptop to read the questions.
Oh, yeah.
Compact the cotton and felt it down. Chris, I think that when you wrap the wool around the cotton, again, the cotton is going to compact down a bit. May not be as much, but the wool on the outside is going to felt down. So it will make that cotton ball smaller. Deborah, you were asking about, again, on how long they lasted. No, I usually have mine for about 6 months. And then
what is an indicator? What's the indicator that you need to recycle that ball out of use?
I find if they're starting to get fuzzy.
Okay.
If the balls start to get fuzzy, let me see if I can grab one, because I noticed the other day some of them were getting a little bit fuzzy.
Uh-oh. We're traveling. Carol's traveling.
So can you see the little bits of fuzz?
Oh. Okay. I thought you were going to go to your laundry. I was like, oh no,
I am.
we may lose you. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Can you see that little tiny bit of fuzz there?
Okay.
That's when I usually say, okay, it's time. Oh, sorry. I'm dropping my phone here.
It may look more dramatic to you because mine have some fuzz, you know.
But this gets more.
Okay.
You'll see longer string. Can you see me pulling on that string there? You'll see longer strings, and I'll get little balls on it. Now, I read the other day that you could, you know how you do a sweater and you take a little shaver to them? I read the other day that you can do that to balls as well.
Oh.
I've not tried it yet, but I'm going to.
You're going to shave the lint from your
I'm going to shave the lint from the dryer ball and see if it makes it last longer. See, there's little bits of lint all over it.
Okay. Well, that'll last longer. That would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So that way you might even be able to make them last, you know, as you're, remember, as you're defuzzing them, it's going to weaken the fibers too, so.
Okay. I had a big old knot in mine I was like trying to get rid of.
No, Chris, I really haven't seen a lot of lint on the clothes from them when they get fuzzy like that, but I prefer not to take the chances of getting, it kind of loses its, if you look, you see the fuzz is sticking up, but that's also probably some static cling too. So that's usually when I say, okay, time to go. Just trying to read some of the comments here. Excuse my head being over to the other side.
It's all right. All right, so I've done this sort of two-tone thing going on too. So this is looking pretty good. I'm getting it closer to the tennis ball size.
Joanne's got a good question here. She wants to know if we think some wool blends would work, like wool and alpaca and wool and nylon, because she's got a lot of scrap yarn. They'd probably work great as a base.
Yeah, that would probably be good as a base. The main thing is you don't want a man-made fiber in there.
Yes.
You don't want acrylic, things like that. They're not gonna work as well.
No.
Which is funny because a lot of people think, because most of the time you don't say, okay, put wool in the wash, you know.
No, that's it.
But this is for a helpful purpose. This is not, we're not trying to prevent a project from being wrecked. We're just trying to use the beneficial elements of the natural fibers to help our laundry. This is meant for a utilitarian purpose.
Right.
So, you know, what happens if I've got my, like these little strands, if you're like, hey, what do we do when we got strands like that? Well, you can just put and this is like in knitting too, you just put your needle down where you want it, you know, and then stick it in there. So this one's a little smaller than I wanted to, but my wool kept getting tangled on something off camera.
Chris, you've got in here, no, sorry, it was Sandy's asking if you have to use both cotton and wool. No, you could use one or the other. You can use all wool or all cotton.
Well, and I'm going to test this one. This is both.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to test this. But the ones that I have been using this is all wool. This is what it looked like before. And then this is what it looked like after, and you can see this, you can see the difference in size. I can see it. I'm not sure if you can tell as easy on
you can see that there's a little bit difference.
Yeah. Well, and height wise, I don't know. It just depends on the angle you're looking at. But yeah, so there's that. So this is before and after, and then this is the cotton before and after. So those are made full wool, full cotton. The cotton one uses an entire ball of this Lily sugar and cream. There is, let's see, if you're working with a cone, if you want to know how much I've used on here, this is a 2.5 ounce or 70 gram ball, which is approximately 120 yards. This Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool made basically 3.5 balls.
Right.
So you would think that this big skein might make more than that, but it didn't. It was just 3.5. And the yardage that was in here was it was 465 yards. So the wool compacted down much more.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was also, you know, winding it really tight. So it did, when I say it did 3.5, so this is all from the same thing. So the core of this is about half the size of this ball in brown. And then I ran out. I did this on camera with Carol. We did a little FaceTime thing. And then the outside, I just wrapped in this. And so to get it to this size of the other balls. So that's why I say 3.5. It did 3.5 because it did these three and then the core of this ball. So that was that. So if I finish this one, I've already got a 5th one. I'll probably get a 6th and maybe a 7th out of it. Anyway, so that's that.
Yeah, and I've used just plain colors and added some little colorful bits to it, just to add a little more color. See, now you can see all the fuzzies on this one. My dryer balls are ready to be tossed over to the cats.
Yeah. And so the people who are joining us, we've got a bunch of people coming in. So just going to show you one more time. You get your pantyhose, you wind your ball, you put it into the pantyhose, and we're going to have this up on the goodknitKisses.com blog. So go to goodknitKisses.com. We'll have that blog up. We'll get a few more pictures up, and we'll put this broadcast in there too. And then you just put in your balls into the pantyhose, the knee highs. I mean, you can use an old pair of pantyhose and just cut the leg off.
Yeah.
And then I just put that in there and tie it up, tie my knot. And then I've got another one. Tie my knot. Let's see how many I can get in here. I've got this other one that hasn't been done yet. I had a bunch of example ones for you guys, so I want to be able to show you. So here we go. And I've got this one. We'll tie it in a knot. Do your ears hang low? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? All right, so I got 4 in. I can't fit my last one in. I may just reuse one of these other ones that I already pulled out. I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, probably if it's long enough.
See, yeah. I had cut this one off, and I've still got the use of that. So because it got longer in the dryer from getting all banged around with everything. So I'm just gonna reuse that portion. And now I've got 5 more balls ready to go into the wash. I'll wash them twice on hot, and then I'll put them in the dryer maybe throw a towel in there. And then after these are all done, I'm gonna put a nice big fun decorative bowl together to hold them on the side. And then I'm gonna put some essential oils in here. Probably gonna use like lavender or something. I like the smell. I like the smell of that. So, yeah, anyway, I'm so glad you joined us for this, everyone. And Carol, especially, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, what a privilege to have you on here and talk about this. I hope it helps someone today.
Thanks.
I know I'm excited about it.
I hope anybody that tries anything different, they put it in the comments on the blog, because we all love to learn stuff. So
yes, please be sure and make a comment in the blog when we have that up. You can also hit the little love button and send some love. Be sure and share it with your friends and help them out. I know that my 115-degree temperature in July and August is going to be crazy better with saving a little bit of money in my dryer.
Yeah. So, there was one last question. Somebody asked how many I normally use. I use, at a minimum, I usually use about 6. And that's what they recommend. 6 is the best for dryer absorbency.
Okay. Well, if you enjoyed hearing about these, be sure and hit that love button and smash that share button. If you want to stick around for other things later on, not today, but for Good Knit Kisses, if you like what you saw, hit the subscribe button and click on the follow and get notifications. Every Monday we do a Q&A at 9 a.m. Central Time. Eastern is 10. And every Friday on Good Knit Kisses YouTube page, we have videos releasing on loom knitting, needle knitting, and crochet. So we are here at Good Knit Kisses. Carol is part of my team, and Joanne, who's not on here right now. We're all the Good Knit Kisses team. We are here to encourage and equip and inspire you in your crafting to the next level. We are so glad that you joined us. Thank you again, Carol, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Great day. All right.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Have a happy knitting and crochet. Bye.